Alright, welcome back to my Traveler Solo Scout campaign using the latest, basically the Mongoose Traveler 2022 rules, but a whole bunch of other stuff, including the Zoser Solo rules for different types of campaigns. Quick recap here, I manned out my scout ship here. There's some backstory, but they did jump to Qatari, this first planet here, and through a number of rolls we find they've stumbled upon an alien empire. So we leverage with the world builder, I think it's called, rules to flush our Qatari, but then we move to the Pocket Empire rules from Traveler 4 to start building out some of these empires. So basically I've got 3 rough empires here right now. You can tell by the different colors on the systems. And I've somewhat mapped out what I'm calling the Suran Empire here. This is the one they're encountering on one of their, I don't know what I'll call it, cubes in orbit. So I still have to roll out that encounter. But I did get a good feel for them. They're kind of like the Minbari in Babylon 5 is what I'm kind of moving towards. Based on the government, religious dictatorship, kind of. But more based on, from Pocket Empires, their militancy is neutral, they're into harmonious unity, their tolerance is neutral. So we don't see them as warlike. And then, like I said, I've been mapping out the rest of the empire. But Qatari, they're trying to populate. This one feels like a colony. And then this one seems like I'm guessing is a civilization they've brought under their not control so much as under their guidance, leadership, whatever. So there was some interesting stuff here with Polythro right next to Suran. Orania is small, hot, no atmosphere, so that's probably an outpost. And then Osliniath looks like another colony. Well, there are natives here, so I'll work that out. But the other empire, in which I'm going to look at today, is what I'm calling the Zashan Empire. These are just based on the randomly generated system names. I had some website that did that. And I kind of, if you saw the last video, I kind of switched it up and rotated Zasha to here, Koreta to here. It made more sense. And now Zasha, the homeworld, which I'm going to generate here hopefully, is a little bit bigger than Earth. Standard tainted atmosphere, Earth-like temperature, Earth-like hydrographics, billions of people, personal bureaucracy, probably spelled that wrong, good spaceport, and I got a naval military bases, so I've kind of tweaked some of this. TL-13, pretty high up there. Koreta is, I'm gonna say, well, 100K, tech level 4, which I didn't fill in yet. Let me see what tech level 4 is real quick. Tech level 4 is 3334, mechanized age, 1900 AD. Okay, so I'll put that in, TL4 mech age 1900 AD. So right at the turn of the century there, before World War I in our time. So this one will probably be a world, and they're not very big. They're Luna, temperature, thin atmosphere, representative democracy, so I have to figure out what they are. But I put a scout base on them. But then these last ones are interesting. Diri. Now, if you look at the map, Diri has no gas giant, and Corson has no gas giant. That's problematic. So for fuel there, so 10K, I'm going to say this is an outpost colony. It's a desert world. I'll work that out, so it's probably an outpost. You see there is a scout base. I mean, I'm sorry, Deary has a scout base and a military base. Because now they're running into the Zashan Empire. They did get Hyrie. That's a big catch, because the Surans should have taken this or colonized this first, so I'll have to figure out why, but they've beefed up Hyrie, TL-12, scout military, again 10k. Here's the different thing though, it's a really hot world, so most water is steam, so have to figure that out. Size of Mars. But this of course sets us up for, here the Zashan Empire tried to expand, and then they ran into the Surans. Somehow they beat them to Hyrie, but that was the end. This isn't a very big prize. This is a big prize for the Surans. And then they also try to go this way, but this one also came out in the initial generation without a gas giant too, which is problematic. Deary, let's see what their hydrograph. Deary's a desert. That's even doubly worse here. No gas giant. No bodies of whatever. No hydrographics. I mean, how do you refuel? Corson has a large ocean, so you'd have to go to the planet to do it. This is almost like a dead end right here. But then Hyrie we see is good. That's why they invested in it too, and I don't know if these two empires have connected yet. So enough of that backstory. Let's go ahead and see if I can get through generating the homeworld here. This will be the last time I do this, the full thing, just to illustrate it. I think I'm getting it down here. So the first thing we have to do is I have to finish out from the main rules here. And what I haven't done is I haven't done factions. Okay, roll a d3, determine how many factions are on the planet. DM +1 if government is 0 or 7, or 10 or more -1. And their government is 9, so there's no modifier. So I'm going to pull over my handy dandy die roller. This will be a d3. So 3 sides, 1 dice. 3 factions. That's interesting. Now I gotta roll government codes for all of them. That's billions. Okay. Let's go back here in personal bureaucracy. So here are my government types, and 2D -7 adding the population code. So the population is 9, so it's actually 2D +2. I'm doing this right, so let's pull out my dice roller again so I can figure out where it went. So this is 2D +2. So the first one is a 5. So I'll just do a 5. The second one is a 11. And the third one is, seems like a divided planet, 7. Okay, now the other thing I got to roll for with factions is, let's see what these are though. We got a 5, fuel technocracy, balkanization, that could be true. And then the last one was an 11, non-charismatic leader. Okay, well, I don't know what impact that'll have, but we've got a call on Balkan. Okay, for each faction use the government table to determine, and then roll 2D on the faction table below to determine the strength. So, let's do the strength of the first one. 4, which is fringe. Okay, that's, yeah. I'll just say fringe. Now the 11 group is a 8 notable. Okay. And the 7 group is a 5 fringe. Okay, good. So the fringes we can pretty much not worry about too much. But the notable group, which is an 11, okay, there is a parallel, there's a charismatic, non-charismatic. Okay, that sounds... Maybe the bureaucracy took over from the leader. So we can figure that out. Then we throw in kind of a cultural difference here. That's a D66. And we pull up my dice roller again. First numbers of 10s. 54. And a 54 is... not on this page. Unusual customs technology. The culture interacts with technology in another way. Telecommunications might be bad. Robots might have civil war. Okay, well. Unusual customs technology. We'll figure that out later. And they do have a tech level 3, so that's possible. So we'll figure that out later. Alright, so now we got to move on to the trade code, and this is kind of an interesting thing to figure out here. Here they are, trade codes. So, to be agricultural, their atmosphere has to be 4 to 9. It is. Hydro 4 to 8. It is. Pop is 5 to 7. It isn't. That's not there. They're not an asteroid. Let's see, are they barren? Nope, they don't have 0 pop. Are they desert? Their hydro has to be 0, so they're not. Fluid oceans, atmosphere 10, hydro 1. I don't think they fit. Nope, they don't fit that one. Are they a garden? Planet size 6 to 8. No, they're a 9. High population, 9 plus. I think that's that they are. They are high pop. So I'll put that in. High pop. And there's a code for that. Then we go to high tech. Yep, they are high tech. They're 13. Okay, ice capped. I don't believe so. Atmosphere 0 to 1, no. Industrial. Atmosphere is 7. Yep. Population is 9 plus. Yep, they're industrial. Okay. And let's see. Low pop? No. Low tech? No. Non-ag? Atmosphere 0 to 3? No, they've got an atmosphere of 7. Non-industrial? Pop 4 to 6? Nope. Poor? Atmosphere 2 to 5? Nope, it's not. Hydro 0 to 3? No, hydro 7. Rich? Atmosphere is 6 or 8. That's what that says, yeah. Not that. There's 7 right in the middle. Vacuum, they've got an atmosphere. Water world. Well, the big thing is 10 plus on hydro, and they don't have that. So they're high pop, high tech, and industrial. Makes sense. Let's see. High pop is HI. High tech is HT. And industrial is IN if there's codes anywhere. Okay, so good job. We figured that out. So now we're moving on into the world of pocket empires. And I've got a little cheat sheet off to the side for this, but let's take a look at what we have to figure out here first. Factions, we did that. So if I'm following my rules here, yeah, pop modifiers and gas giant. So let's scroll up and look at that. That's way up here, if I remember. That's not it. Here we go. So we're right here. So the first thing we're doing is population. If you have a 10-sided die, give a number in the range of 0 to 9. Actually want a high roll to that. Well, let's see what we get. It's 10. Now that's wimpy. If you have a D10, roll this to give a number in the range of, well, I roll 1D1, da 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 da. Okay, I don't. Let's do the best at it. Let's do a. Okay, well, we'll take a 5. That's pretty weak. That's not a good multiplier, to be honest. After the pop multiplier, now we're going to use our gas giants rule. I'm not going to use world builder. I'm just, for the ease of this, I'm going to do the gas giants that they mention and get 2D and consult the gas giant quantity table. So let me come back here. So we're going to roll 2D on the gas giants quantity table. Okay. 2D, roll dice. You want a lot, actually. 6 isn't very much. They got 2. 6, 2 gas giants. So we'll put that in, 2 gas giants. And then we go to planetoid belts. Let's see what this says for that. Roll 2D, add the number of gas giants, and consult the planetoid belt table. So we're going to roll 2D again, and add 2. So we got 6, 7, 8, 1 planetoid belt. One belt, I'll call it. Okay, starport, I think I got it up here. Yeah, it's a B. No high port though. Okay, population modifier kind of weak. Alright, so now we are going to move into, let's see what we got here. Resources, labor, infrastructure, and culture. Resources is 2d6 minus 2 and DRMs. Let's see if it's here. It's not here. Yeah, economic setup. Now we got to roll the economic extension here. Yeah, that's not it. Military setup. And I could just do it by my notes here. Hold on. Economic power. Gotta calculate resources. Oh, I think that's I think when we calculate resources, that goes to the goes to chapter 4 here, just to follow things. Yeah, I think we're already in chapter 4 here. So let's scroll up. Resources, population, infrastructure, planetary demand. There it is, resources. To determine the resources level of a given system, you will need to determine the number of gas giant planetary belts. This information is included among the data in the first thing. Okay, so let's see. Generate the for each. Use resources instead. Okay. That's basic term. Alright, here we go to computer resources 2D minus 2. It's not any of those. It's achieved a reasonable level of spaceflight. TL8. Add the number of planetoid belts and gas giants. So we're going to add 3 for that. Then we got DMs. So it's 2D minus 2. And then we'll look. We got a starport of B. So we got a +1. And +2 for HI. +4. And they don't list high tech. Okay, so it looks like I got a +4. +1 for high pop, +2 for industrial, that's 3. +1 for the starport, +4. And then we've also got 3 of those, +7 for the planetoid belts and gas giants. So it's +7, so it's really 2D +5. So this is going to be the resources we're rolling for now, 2D +5. 2D +5. There we go. 6, 11. Let's see, 11. Which is really B. Okay, next we calculate the labor. population labor. Labor is computed by subtracting 1 from the population. That's pretty straightforward there. So the labor is going to be 8 population billions there. Then we calculate the infrastructure. To determine the infrastructure, roll 2D minus 2 and apply DMs. Cannot be greater than the resources nor the tech level though. Okay, so we're going to go back to our chart window and we're going to look at for infrastructure. I get a +2 for industrial and +3 HI. Nothing for, so that's +3. +3 and the starport table +3 +6. Okay, +6 and they're rolling 2D minus 2, so it's 2D plus 4. 2D plus 4. Let's see what we get here. 7 and 4 is 11. That's, yeah, can't exceed resources or tech level, so it got the max they could. So that works. They're nice infrastructure here. Let's calculate the culture next. Pull this off. Let's calculate the culture here. Term of culture, 2D, but if the world is barren, roll 1D. However, if the world truly has no pop culture, 0, of course. And apply DMs from the 2 tables. So it's looks like it's a straight 2D there. Straight 2D for culture. So let's see what our modifiers are. Culture, nothing. And culture for HI, no. Industrial, nope. Actually, no modifiers for culture. So it's a straight 2D. Okay, so let's roll our 2D. Culture is a 4. We'll see how that affects things later. Okay. Alright, so we set up the next. So now what we've got to do is we've got the economics, but I'm really interested in this too. So let's set that up. Okay, total demand starts with our base demand, which if our population is greater than or equal to 4 equals our resources. So our base demand is 11, and then we roll 2d6, but we have multipliers. Our population is a 9, which gives no multipliers. Wait, if population is 9 to A, we get a +2, and culture is 4. We get a -1, so we get a +1. That's the 2 modifiers. So the 9 gives us a +2 for population, but the culture gives us a -1, so we get a +1 on 2D. Okay, so let's roll that. +1 on 2D. That's very low. That's actually really low. 4. And 11 on 4. Well, good. Our demand is just below our resources. 10. And well, we'll see in a second that's good. So we can export. Okay. Then we look at resource trade. Let's see. Infrastructure, import. So we come back here. We got planetary demand. Yep. And then the resource trade is a good way to raise the GWP. And resource exports equals resources minus total demand. So we have 1 point of export. Resources 11 minus 10 T demand equals +1 export. Okay, that's good. Then we look at resources exploitable. Let me look at that here. Resources exploitable equals tech level times 0.1 times resources available. So let's look at that. Okay, first we have to come back here to figure this out. We have to, that's total resources plus what we get from the benefit of exporting here. So we got to roll 2D to get that number. So let's see what we get. Roll dice. 9, that's good. 0.5, so wow, that looks just like with only 1. 1 times 0.5 is 1. And then 1 plus 1 times 0.5 is 0.5 plus our resources, so we get 11.5. Okay, 11.5 is our resources exploitable. Okay, and we just got it from our resource trade benefit. Let me put this in here. It's going to be 2d6. 2d6 chart. Okay, then we got to figure out our labor factor. Our labor factor is labor base from the labor base table multiplied by the population multiplier. This is where we're going to get the population multiplier. So let's look at the labor base table. Okay, that's economics here. Labor base population is a 9, so our labor base is 100. Labor base 100. And let's see. Multiply the labor base by the population multiplier. Okay. The result is the labor base. Okay, so we multiply that by 5. So the labor factor is 500. Okay. Next, calculate the, yeah, we just did that. The third factor is infrastructure. And we use the result from here. And then we throw in culture, which is a 4. Okay. And then we get to calculating the GWP, which is this formula right here, which will become resources exploitable. So that's 11.4 times the labor factor, which is 500, nice, times the infrastructure, which is 11, okay? And we're going to divide this by the culture plus 1, so that's 4 plus 1. And I'll go ahead and do the math here offline real quick. Okay, so when we do the math, we get 12,540. Let's see how that, oh, they're doing better here. Oh wait, yeah, they got 15,840. Okay, so they're kind of close. Then we got to do the finished goods multiplier. I need to automate this. I know I've said that before. The finished goods multiplier, hold on, I'll pull that up. Okay, that's got a chart for it here. Goes all the way up to 70, but we can look at the subsector map and say who are they trading with. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll keep it at 5 because I don't know what that one's relation is. So we've got a 5 starport B, and we get 1.16. 1.16. Okay, we're all getting this to get to the final GWP. Then we got to do the interstellar demand. Let's take a look at that right here. Interstellar demand. Hold on, did I calculate that? Nope. Let's see. Okay, just skimming the rules. Game begins with an aggregate demand of 1. This is just really measuring the delta. We're going to keep it at 1. What we're doing here. So now we just get to the final GWP equals the base times finished goods times interstellar demand. Well, that should be easy here. We got the base gross was 12,540 times the multiplier of 1.16 times 1 equals, and we'll go ahead and do that here offline. Alright, the 1.16 is the only thing that mattered, so we get 14,546 resource units, so the exporting got them something here. So now we got to move on to the taxation level, and I believe that's related to government. Let's see. Discretionary tax, I'm not going to do that, that's Pocket Empire, you can decide to add it. Each determined by the law level, culture, government type, First add the law level, culture scores, and divide by 100 to get the social tax rate. Interest. Okay. So law level and culture divided by 100 to get the social. Okay. Let's see. Law level is 8, culture is 4, 12 divided by 100. So social is 0.12. If I did that right, let's see, law level 8, culture 4, 8 and 4 is 12. 12 divided by 100 is 0.12. Then look up the base tax rate and add that to the social. Okay, base tax rate, government type, and the government is a 9. So we got a 0.35. Okay. Alright, so coming here, well, I think we did that. Then look up the base tax rate. There's further discretionary, which they can do. The resulting tax rate, all monies received by government agencies for all, so it might include income tax, da. So total tax rate is base plus social plus discretionary. So we're getting a 0.47. That's a lot. 0.47 tax. Okay. So after the tax, okay, so we're not going to add discretionary. Now the government budget equals tax rate times the GWP. So 12541, 12550. Let me put that in. Let's see, tax rate. Oh, it's the GWP. It's not the. Oh, that is the final GWP. So we're going to take the 14,546. Got that there. Multiply that times 0.47. 6836. So it's going to be 6. I'm going to do 837 and round up. Okay. And then we got to figure out civilian expenses. Culture, infrastructure, law and order, divided by 100, times administrative factor, government type factor, government budget. So let me look up all that and put it in. Alright, so we've got culture plus infrastructure plus law level, so that's 19, that's 23. So that equals 0.23. And then we've also got, now we've got to multiply that by the admin factor, the government type factor, and the government budget. I'm going to just arbitrarily call the admin, that's a function of the leader's education, admin, yada. I'm going to keep it at 1. But the government type factor is, let's see if we've got it here. Well, administrative, we'll keep that at 1. Let's see, labor base, coming back here. Okay, I'm going to find the government type factor. Yeah, actually it's not, it's government type is here. And with a 9 you get a 1.35. So you're going to multiply it by 1.35, the government type factor. Like I said, I'll keep admin at 0. And the government budget, how do we figure that out? Not quite sure. Let's take a look at the charts. Alright, the government budget I already figured out up here. So we're just going to multiply all this together here. So we got 6837, and we're going to multiply it by 0.23 and 1.35. So 0.23 and 1.5. Okay, I think it's 2122. That is civilian expenses. And then I'm just going to say what's available is this minus this, and we don't know what this is yet. Okay. So, let me go ahead and calculate that. Okay, there we go. We've calculated that, and of that, the military budget can come out of that. Figure that out later. And let's now bring it home with these. These are going to be important dice rolls here. And I think I've got this broken down. We've got some tables for that. Let's pull that up. There we go. So we're going to be doing self-determination, popularity, progression. We'll see. Self-determination isn't there, so let's go ahead and get to the right part of the rules. Okay, with the rules it says for NPC worlds, alien worlds, that's what I'm going to call them, roll 2d minus 2. You can normally set it here, ranging 0 total self to 10 being under complete control. So we're going to roll our 2d minus 2 to get the self-determination. Pull this back over here. 2d minus 2 gives us a 5. Somewhere in the middle. That's interesting. Okay, so let's do this. Self-determination. Hold on. Okay. Stuff just never works right when you're doing this, does it now? Let me find it here. Okay, we got it back. 2d minus 2. So let's get our handy dandy dice roller. Oh, I already rolled it. It was we'll go with 5. Okay, now we've got some modifiers. Well, popularity I'm not necessarily going to worry about here. Let me see what it says though. Base plus action bonus. Every turn. Action bonus. Okay, price. Chapter 6. Well, I'm going to skip that one. So the next one, oh wait, we've already got this stuff here, hold on. Okay, the base popularity is right here. Tech, culture, info, law level. Self-determination, yep. And world government, the difference between self-determination and the pluralism from the government pluralism table. World discretionary tax, we didn't do that. And applicable DRMs from this list. Okay, so let's see if we can get those numbers here. Alright, so we did figure it out. It's tech plus culture plus infrastructure minus the law level modifier, culture and law level. Government modifier between, there's a pluralism table, and self-determination. Actually, that would be a 4 minus 5, but it won't affect anything, because they got up to 24, max is 15, so very popular. Alright, so now we're going to move through some other stuff here. We're going to do the progression table. So let's pull that up. Now we're going to get a feel for how this is working here. So there's our progression table right there. Population is 9 plus, we get a plus 2. Plus 2. Plus 2. That's it. I'm looking at modifiers. There are modifiers for this, so it's 2d6 plus 2. So let's try that out. Seven, 8, 9. It's conservative. 9 conservative. Okay, let's go into planning. There's only one DM. If it's radical, it's a DM minus 2. If it's conservative, it's a plus 2. So this is going to be a plus 2 on the planning table. 7. Medium term, 6 to 9 years. That's good to know. Okay. Let's go to advancement. How do they feel about advancing? If conservative plus 3. This is in the book. You just do it. Conservative plus 3. 9, 10, 11, 12 on advancement. Whoa! That's crazy and different. Have they stagnated? Well, they are a impersonal bureaucracy, which I better spell right. That's interesting. Let's look at growth now. The modifier for that is culture. Culture is 4, so no modifiers. So it's a 2d6. Let's look at growth. 4. Competitive. Okay. That's good. Okay, that's showing me something here. And let's talk about militancy. They're not they're competitive, so they got a -1 DM. -198. Neutral again. Wow. Well, they're not warlike then. Dodge that bullet. Unity. I'm just looking at the modifiers here. No modifiers. And that's a pretty harmonious. Interesting, okay. And then tolerance is, they got a starport B, they got a -1, they're conservative, they get a +2, so that's a +1. And again, I'm looking at these +1. 8, 9. 9 for tolerance. Neutral. Huh. Wow. Okay, neutral. Doesn't give me much to go on here. I guess they're not at war with the other empire. Although you can compare them, so we'll do that later. And then the last thing I want to do, just to see what happens, is the long night event. I'm going to say they were on the edge of it. So that's going to be 2d6, no multipliers. We'll see if something interesting comes up. Nope, not with an 8. Just like the other ones. So they were out here on the fringe before the long... Well, maybe they were low tech level. Alright, so... Well, they're tech level 3. They're impersonal bureaucracy. That's interesting. They just want to maintain things. Harmonious. And their militancy is... Their tolerance is neutral. Their militancy is neutral. Again, I don't think they're going to war with these guys. We'll see. Maybe I have factions, though. That's the interesting thing, though. We have a faction here that could be something, but they're harmonious, and the leader's very popular. Or the government, or whoever's in charge, is very popular. So, I'm going to have to think about that one. Trying to build a story between the two empires, trying to build a story with the free trader stolen. I was thinking tech level 13, tech level 12. Maybe they're not at war, but they're competing, and the free traders are illegally delivering high-tech, imperial tech to these two different empires. But based on this, the response they're going to get here is not like these are not militant and these are not militant. So we've got a religious dictatorship, harmonious, and a impersonal bureaucracy, a machine. So that'll be interesting to play out. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful with the pocket empires here. I hope to get that procedure down a little better and automate it, but I don't intend on going. I wanted to go through it one time more, so if anybody was curious about pocket empires, they can see what's involved here. And then if I can get some good automation, I'll show that later. But for the rest of these, I'm going to just, if I have to generate it, I'll generate it myself. And like I said, I'm going to say these two are colonies because of that. This is a very small, smaller than the moon. So that's an outpost here. And this one is... Here's your weird thing here. This is really hot, so they got to be in enclosures. But they got scout military on both. And if you look at their empire, though, they're kind of stymied here. At least this way, but tech level... Their tech level probably allows them jump too. So maybe they went here. I don't know. I don't have to worry about that now. So, I'll flesh out the rest of this empire, do a comparison, try and get a feel for the relationship between these two offline, and then hopefully the next video will return and now play out the first contact here and see what happens. So, great. If you enjoyed, click like. Any comments? Appreciate it. Otherwise, I think that's a wrap. Definitely at 45 minutes, especially if you went this far. Anyway, have a good day.